Okay, so it's time to go shopping on the Cortex Cloud and look for some new captures. If you haven't seen these videos before, what I typically do is every 3 or 4 months, I'll go on to the Cortex Cloud, look at some of the most recently uploaded captures and try to grab several that, just look interesting. For this one, what I've done is I've actually pulled from two groups. I did that process, and I also pulled a set from the kind of the curated packs that DSP does called Mid Gain Magic. I figured, that's the kind of the gain levels that I like a lot, so I wanted to check those out. So I figured we'd just throw those in. And so I've already gone through the process of grabbing them and bringing them down into Cortex Control. And if we go over here to the preset, what I've done is I've laid all the captures out. You can see all the red blocks. These are all amp captures without an IR included. At least they're supposed to be. That's how they're labeled. And what I've got here is I've got a little bit of reverb on the back end, just some room reverb to add a little bit of ambience to it. And then I've got a couple different types of IRs or cabs to try with the captures. And I ended up having to split it into two presets because I had too many captures to check out. So what I tried to do is, like I said, I grabbed that mid-gain magic pack that NeuroDSP had put together, and then I went into all the captures uploaded in the last 3 months, and I grabbed some of the most popular clean ones, and I grabbed some of those popular, heavier ones. So hopefully we've got a good mix. And I've got them ordered kind of in that sequence. So we're going to start out with clean amps. We're going to get to the mid-gain stuff, and then on the end, we'll get to the heavier gain stuff. So why don't we go ahead and check out the captures. Before we do that, just a little reminder, go ahead and hit the like button if you can, maybe leave a comment. Those kinds of things really help small channels like mine. If you want to subscribe, the button's down there too. And if you're interested in picking up a quad Cortex or a nano Cortex, there's a Sweetwater affiliate link in the description. So let's go ahead and start out with the first one we have is a Bassman. And we turn it on, and I'm going to mix that with, I've got a Marshall 4x12 cabinet here. So let's go ahead and hear how that sounds. It's kind of quiet. It's kind of a nice clean sound. It sounds like I would expect a Bassman to sound. So let's try giving it maybe a little more gain. See if we can get a little bit of edge or breakup on it. I think it almost works better when you give it a little bit of gain. But we'll move on to the next one. We got a lot to get through. So Uber Ultra Clean. Another kind of quiet one. So again, let's go ahead and try maybe giving this a little more gain. Sometimes these clean captures, if they have a little bit of headroom in them, by pumping up the gain, you can just get a little more, life out of them. That's still pretty clean. Let's go ahead and let's crank the gain all the way up. So it really is a very clean capture. Let's go ahead and we'll move on. Mesa Boogie. This one's a little. It's very low-end centric. Almost a little dark for my tastes. If we give it a little more life. think it's just a little dark. If we go on matchless, give that one a little bit of gain. That one's pretty nice. And moving on from there, Fender Princeton. This one we can, we'll turn off the Marshall cab and we'll use a Fender 2x12. That's a little too much. It starts to get a little harsh if you give it too much gain. Another dark one. And here's another AC30. Yeah, some of these just don't really have much life to them. They're a little, they're sounding a little dark. Yeah, so obviously, I think now we're into the mid gains. I think the Freeman with the Marshall cab is probably a good mix. Let's see if we can give this more gain and see how far we get. This is the really nice thing about, stuff that's in that kind of middle of the road gain. You can like clean it up. If we wanted to, we could bring the gain down. Get a pretty nice clean tone. Or we can push it. That's why a lot of times, my favorite captures can be that kind of edge of breakup, maybe even a little bit like just past edge of breakup, because you can clean them up or you can drive them really hard and get a lot of good tones out of them. That sounds really nice when you push the gain. Let's go ahead and push it all the way. That one's pretty nice. If we go to, not quite sure what this is. Interesting. Interesting. I have no idea what amp that is, but it sounds pretty good. The Jack's one of my favorite amps. So that's a good sounding one. And basic boogie mark. Whoa, that one's loud. Bass is a little flubby, but it sounds nice. And we got, again, I don't know what this is. Another dark one. I just want to make sure these haven't been mislabeled. No, it needs an IR. Still pretty dark there. And a Splawn. Let's go ahead and we'll try that through a V30 cabinet. Nah, it sounds better with the Marshall. So, I mean, overall, I think this Friedman is my favorite, especially when you push the gain. That one is nice. So here, let's go ahead and leave that one on. We'll leave that one on like that. So let's move into the higher gain stuff. So here we got a Mesa Recto. Would help if we had the cabinet on. Sounds pretty good with the V30. Let me go ahead, maybe just pull back the bass a little bit on this. Maybe push the treble. And I'm going to pull the gain back a little bit. So it sounds nice and thick. Again, it's a little dark for my taste. I'd like a little more presence, but it's pretty good. What else we got? Very loud. nice sounding amp. Bring gain down just a little bit. A little more volume. That's a good one, nice and heavy. But I think compared to the Recto, I think it just has a little bit better top end to it, a little more clarity to it. I like it. Oh, another super jack. Very quiet super jack. I mean, it sounds good. I think maybe it's better with the V30s. Definitely better with the V30s. And Richie Blackmore. Go ahead and try to switch into the Marshall cab. Yeah, I think the V30s work a little better, but that's just my personal taste. I like that mid-range. Once you add more gain, I like that really big mid-range. Add a little more gain. Again, a little, I wish it wasn't quite so dark, but it sounds really nice. I don't know it. One of these was one of the Freeman preamp pedals. I forget. I think it's this one, and I think they have the IR on. Because that's without the IR, and I think it works pretty well. Every time I try to turn an IR on, it sounds real muffled. So I think that this capture, even though it says it's just an amp, actually has an IR in it. So that's why it doesn't sound good with the cab. We've got a Fort and Cali. Oh, that one needs an IR. Turn it down a little bit. Oh, that's nice. Give it a little more gain. I think it might be better with the Marshall. We got more gain. Yeah, with more gain, it sounds really nice. pretty nice. And last but not least, that sounds better with the V30. That one's pretty nice. I think though, I think this is my favorite. Maybe this one's my favorite, although that the Forden sounds pretty nice too. It's really loud. So some good captures here to choose from. So I'll go ahead and upload these two presets to the Cortex Cloud. If you grab the presets, the capture should come with it. Unless the owner of the capture at some point removes them, then you might not get them. The IRs that I'm using are from the Amalgam Free Pack. I'll put a link to that in the description below because those don't always come through. So hope you enjoyed this and you found some captures that maybe you want to check out, and thanks for watching.